this going? Okay, yeah. Hey, we're live. Okay, so I'm doing things a little bit differently today. It's about 5:40. Welcome back to howtobuycrypto.com. I'm using a little headset and I'm using my Canon as a web camera, and I'm going to try and do a screen share. Hopefully, it works out. So bear with me if the transitions aren't so seamless. But I wanted to talk about a few things, and hopefully, I don't run too long because actually I'm running out of time. It's Wednesday, so we got church tonight. AJ just said he needed a ride, so AJ, you're rushing me here a little bit, but it's okay. AJ's awesome. You guys know AJ Gonzalez, pretty cool guy. So anyway, and he helps me out. That's why I got to go get him. So anyway, no. So let me talk to you guys about. I had been asked about Ripple again. Let me clarify some things. I bought into Ripple back in when it was under a penny, and it was scaling up, and I was pulling some profit, and I had probably about 30,000 Ripple. It jumped up to over 20 cents, and I said, okay, pulled some profit. I was telling some friends of mine to pull some profit. It jumped up to 30 cents, and I was thinking, it's jumping pretty quick. I'm going to hold and see where it goes. So I had about 11,000 Ripple left. I had already pulled over a Bitcoin out of Ripple, for my initial investment. Was around $500 or so on Ripple, and it may have been 400. I can't remember exactly. I guess under a penny it would make sense to be around 400 if it was under. Well, anyway, so basically, and I may have bought in as it was going up and around 1 or 2 cents or so. But so basically, I did some more research. I saw that Ripple was doing the lockup of contracts to limit the ability to flood the market with Ripple. And I was thinking, oh man, that's great. That's good news for Ripple. Held on to some to that 11,000, and then I decided after I read into it, because I'd seen the article, but I didn't really research it. As I started to research it, I realized it was more of a PR stunt, because they really didn't minimize any of the flow in the market space. So there is a lot of Ripple out there. There's no shortage of it. Them locking up I believe it's like 55 whatever billion or something that they locked up really didn't affect the day-to-day flow or supply of Ripple. So really, it was like I said, it was kind of a publicity stunt, and I guess to kind of long-term help people to understand that they're not going to try and flood the market with that amount of the supply. But overall, Ripple helps banks, and banks don't really help me. They charge me higher fees than they need to. And so far, dealing with cryptocurrencies, which are far superior to our banking system, the banks don't like it. And so I've had to jump through a bunch of hoops to deal with the way banks want me to do business with them because they don't like cryptocurrency. Well, there are some better banks than others. And, so that's why I went to First State Bank, I believe. Maybe it's First National. I think it's First State Bank here. So if you guys are looking for a place to bank that will help you with crypto, that doesn't care about cryptocurrencies, that's, let's see, I'll tell you for sure. It is First State Bank. So you see that right there, First State Bank. So anyway, I don't care for my experience with the banks, and Ripple helps banks, so I don't like it. It helps them to save money on transfers. It helps them to speed up their taking money from the regular individual, so I don't like it. I don't like the concept of helping banks. And the whole basis that I got into cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin was that it decentralized currencies and took power away from the banks and gave power to the middleman, to the little guy, and empowers the little guy. So just on principle, I was thinking, I really, I'm just going to go ahead and pull out the rest of what I have. And for some people, you're like, well, yeah, because you gained a lot. Yeah, I did absolutely gain a lot on Ripple. And but the more I read on it, the more I felt like it's just not the currency that I wanted to be in. I think Ripple is no special crypto compared to some of the other technologies out there. Stellar is actually even faster than Ripple. And they're basically the same thing. So Ripple is not exclusive. They all do have first movers on a number of banks, just like Bitcoin had first move advantage on cryptocurrency. Ripple had that on some of the large banks. So Stellar is trying to push into the market share there. We'll see what happens with that. But I am not in the. I'm no longer holding Ripple. I don't believe in it, and so as far as what I would advise, I'd say let go of what you have, depending on what you have. I advised Manny was asking me about it, and I told him wait based on the prices that he was telling me about. If you're still concerned and you're holding some, go ahead and message me, and I'll try and give you a pointer here or there based on where it's at right now. You know what? Let me go ahead and go to the market capitalization, and we can. I'm going to make this transition. Hopefully, it works out for you guys because this is kind of on the fly kind of thing. So we'll see if it works. It looks like it is, and here we'll go. So coinmarketcap.com is what I'm looking at. Guys, this is exciting. $100 billion market cap, the cryptocurrency. I'm looking here at Bitcoin at 45 billion, Ethereum 23 billion, and Ripple's 11 billion. It's trading at 29 cents right now, and that's 1, 2, 3. Like I said, the gains that went up, I think, were in part with some good news and the fact that it was saying it was going to lock up, that Ripple. But let me clarify. Let me bring this back in, and so we can make that transition. I don't know if I can get this to work right. Here we go. So let me clarify. I do think Ripple will continue to grow. I do think that it has some headroom. I do think you can make money on Ripple. I just don't think it's exclusive. I don't think that it's the only currency that you can get, to make money on. And basically, I want to, clarify that, I've made plenty. I made thousands of dollars on Ripple, and if you want to hang on to it and make money that way, that I have no problem with you. I don't, say that you shouldn't do that. I just, for my analysis of it, I just don't feel like that's where I want to be. And so it's number 3, and it's only 30 cents, on the market capitalization. That's why people are big on it, because it's number 3. But like I said, I think there are other currencies that are going to take its place and edge it out. So we'll see what happens. NEM is actually doing pretty good right now as it is. And Ethereum Classic, they're pushing up, but they're still only a tenth the size of Ripple. So we'll see, what moves up. Litecoin's 1.5 billion. So we'll see, what the next big deal is or next big move. But next thing, guys, I wanted to talk about that screen behind me. For those of you that are asking, this is Surfside Beach. I was out taking some pictures with my daughter, taking some pictures of my daughter and my wife at the time, and I got a picture there at Surfside. Now, Zen. Basically, Zen is awesome, and it's made me a good amount of money. And okay, so I mentioned before that Z Classic moved into, Zcash has a structure that basically is taxing the miners and is paying into the original founders and developers of Zcash. And the miners are like, man, we don't like that. We're paying you for something you're already done with the work a long time ago. We shouldn't be still paying for the next, I don't know how long amount of time. They're still going to be paying 20% back into the developer. So then you got Z Classic. Z Classic says, we want to do a better structure. We don't think we need to tax the miners like Zcash is doing. We can make another very secure, very anonymous currency. And so they made Z Classic, is doing very well. Especially, man, if you listen to Omar Bam, when he was talking about it at like something like 20 something cents or something like that, really cheap. I didn't get in till it was over $2. Anyhow, it went way up. Now it's down to, it's like 100 and something place overall, but it's at like $3 or something, $3.50. And so basically, hey guys, these people are calling me about cryptocurrency right now. I should have turned my ringtone off. But basically, so then Z Classic has another wanted another upgrade that they said, hey, we can do something better. And so basically, Zen comes out of Z Classic now. So Zcash, then Z Classic, then Zen. So let me go ahead and turn off that ringer. And Zen was supposed to hit Bittrex, okay, and it didn't. Bittrex had all kinds of fumbles, but to be fair, Zen had some trouble on the launch, and so they're able to mine Zen. Zen releases. It's actually for trade on Satoshi Trader, and then when it finally hits Bittrex, was already like $20 or something. So when I finally noticed, and I told you guys, hey, Zen is live, I did buy some right away. I already had 160 for free from the Z Classic, the fork that happened back then, and I had 200. I sold 40 to pull some profit when it was at $10 per coin, and actually that paid me back for what I had invested into it. And then so when Zen released, actually on Bittrex to where I could trade it because it was locked up my wallet. I couldn't even take it over to Satoshi Trader or whatever to sell it if I wanted to. So once it hit Bittrex, it was like $20. When I looked at it, it was like 18, and so I bought some around 18, and then I started noticing slippage. And I was telling you guys, and I messaged, who was it? Dale had said, oh, hey, cool, Zen is up. And I said, hey, watch the price because it looks like it's still going down. And at that point, I had already pulled the extra that I had bought and had sold out what I was holding on to. So, and actually, I bought it at 18. It was already going down around 17 when I sold what I had. And so I sold first what I had, the 160 first. And then it cost me about $100 to sell the remainder of the Zen that I was holding on to because I saw it was still dipping and wasn't, I should have waited a little bit longer. And so that cost me $100. But on the upside, the Z Classic, I still had that that paid for itself. This is complicated. I first bought Z Classic, sold 40 of them at $10 a piece. It's over $400 from what I put in. And then, so that was free. That Z Classic was now free. And so I still had 160 of them. 160 Z Classic forked into Zen. Now I have 160 of each. Then I sold my Z Classic at something like under $4 or something like that. Okay, so I made whatever I made on that, like $500 or something. And then Zen was around 18. I bought Zen, and then I realized, hey, it's slipping. I better sell already that I'm holding on to that 160 from the Z Classic that split. Sold that, and I got over a Bitcoin for just that. So that's over $2,000 that I got for just that 160 Zen. And then I still saw the prices dipping. So then I pulled the remainder of that Zen that I had out, and that's when I was telling Dale, hey, watch the price if you're looking at getting some because the price is still going down. My computer's still dinging because people are trying to hit me up. Now listen, on the positive, I did make money. On the negative, I jumped in a little bit too soon. I think Zen is now in like 70th place. Let me pull this up for you guys and show you. Here we go. Transition. Boom. All right. So let me see if I can zoom out and find Zen for you. It's basically, I think it was like 70 something. Maybe it was 90 something. I don't know. Here we go, 90. Okay, 90. $19 million market cap, Zen Cash here. It's trading for $13.83. So this is probably closer to where it's bottoming out, and so it's somewhere that I'm considering buying back in. So if you are still considering buying in, it's worth looking at and deciding for yourself what price that it's good for you. I know, I've talked to some people that are already jumped in, and so they're like, man, it dropped. But for those that are long-term holders, it doesn't matter where it goes. It's going to go back up. And right now, the whole market, has dipped. I just checked, and it dipped a few $1,000s for me. But guys, I have strong hands. I'm telling you, these hands have been holding anchor lines for ships, for large ships. For years, and so I built up a strength, and so I apply that to my cryptocurrency strategy. I have strong hand, and I don't try to take emotional moves in the market, and I've made tens of thousands of dollars that way because I try not to trade with emotion. I try to trade with my intelligence, right? But real quick as well, I wanted to mention. Wow, it's already been 14 minutes. Authy, the authenticator app for Android, basically, it may be for iOS as well. I just know that it has been for Android. Heads up, guys, if you are in this space, you should not be using anything without dual factor authentication. If you go to my intro to crypto investing, I talk about it. You can look it up there. You can just look up Google Authenticator and how to set it up for Coinbase or Poloniex or Bittrex or whatever exchange you're using. You want a two-factor authentication because you're moving money around. And the other side of that, you want to be secure with what you put online. A lot of people are answering these questionnaires like what kind of I don't know, a Friends character are you? What kind of Power Ranger are you? And these are socially engineered questions that ask you, now not those specifically, but there are quizzes that ask you like, who was your first grade teacher? What was your favorite friend growing up? Where were you born? What was your first pet? And these answers are actually validation questions for your bank accounts and your birth date. Will actually, if they get your birth date and your home address, people are able to quote unquote hack your account and pretend to be you and say, hey, I got locked out of my account. Here's my address. Here's my phone number. Here's my security question, which is my mother's maiden name, my first vehicle, my best friend, or my favorite teacher, and all those things then end up being what all those things you can find on Facebook. These people are able to break into your account and post being you, transfer money or buy things for themselves, and then you have to spend sometimes months trying to get that money back and say, hey, I didn't do that. So be very careful with your security. Any information you release online, I don't post my birthday online for that specific reason. Security-wise, it's not a good idea. So I don't want to give somebody else make anything a little bit easier for them to break into my account. Thank you, Manny, for posting about what do you call Nevada. Nevada is trying to make waves and say, hey, we're not going to charge anything tax-wise for cryptocurrencies, which is awesome. It's like, man, let's move to Vegas, man. That's crazy. Josh was like, yeah, man, let's go. He just made some money in one of the casino closer, I think Louisiana. But guys, with everything that you do, whether you're going to Vegas and making crypto or spending your crypto in Vegas, secure your stuff. Look at getting a Ledger Nano. Look at getting a Trezor, or pulling some of your currency offline. And diversification is key, including with security. That's why I have both the Ledger Nano S and the Trezor. So try and be careful with what you do with your cryptocurrencies, with the passwords that you use. You don't want to be using the same passwords for everything. And as well, two-factor authentication, very important. I think I covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about today. So hopefully, hey, if you guys have any questions, if you don't want to worry about investing on your own, if you don't want to know how to set this up on your own, if you just say, could you just hand me some Bitcoin or some Ethereum or some Litecoin, message me, guys. I can help you to do that. I can give you, just hand over, the information, not the information. I could give you something that's equivalent of a thumb drive, and you could be holding Bitcoin, okay, or Litecoin or Ethereum, whatever crypto you're interested in. Let me know, and I'll try and find the solution for you. And I can consult with you on how to do it, or you just pay me a fee to do it for you. But anyhow, all your questions, guys, I'm happy to to consult with you and help you with whatever I can. Just let me know. Any questions, leave it in the comments below. Give me a like, thumbs up, email me, myquicktip@gmail.com, and hopefully I'll be hearing from you guys soon. God bless you.